Flicker Strike is a skill that instantly teleports you to a nearby enemy, hitting it with your weapon. If no enemy is targeted, one will be picked randomly. In addition to being a really efficient way to get from one monster to another, it's also pretty defensive because you're often out of the way before attacks land on you.
Hello and welcome to my Gladiator Flicker Strike starter build guide. This is a build I've been using for a couple of years and it's changed a little bit. I'm getting a late start in Arch Nemesis League. I'm playing Trade League this league. I don't normally do that, but I'm having a lot of fun doing that. But I'm starting late. I'm wanting to catch up. I'm behind the curve. I want to get ahead of the curve. I need a character that's going to get me currency fast, that's not going to need much investment, and I want a character that's going to be able to level up really quick. So this is the character that I would do that on. This is, to me, from my experience, like I play this character in Solo Self-Found Hardcore almost always my league starter, because although it don't let all the uniques that I'm stacking into this character right now fool you, I normally can start or I can farm. A tabula rasa is all I need to get started with this build. Everything else, it will sustain itself and it will clear so fast I'll be able to generate and find a lot of these items myself. Also, for a long time I would farm the Gladiator cards to get a Bringer of Rain. Bringer of Rain also dirt cheap option to gift you a pseudo 7 link. When you're first starting out, your chest probably isn't that good anyways. So Bringer of Rain, Tabula Rasa, either one will get you going. You can run this on a 4 link once you have Outmatch and Outlast. It's not really dependent on these uniques, but they augment or improve the play, and they keep it cheap too. They keep it cheap because on Heritage, I paid 5C for this with a really nice implicit corrupted on it, but I could have paid 1C and that would have been just fine. All right. This is something that's really nice. You get 2 fragility jewels, and you're going to have your endurance charges are going to be set to 0, and then you'll get both benefits of the shield. So that's 2 to all maximum resistance. And simultaneously, you'll always have Onslaught. With the Worm Sign gloves, again, cheap, less than a chaos. With this, then you're always going to have Rampage. Once you take Outmatch and Outlast in the passive tree, okay, this will be my Merciless Lab. This is what normally I take this at Merciless. I will wind up getting additional Frenzy Charge generation and more physical damage while I have max Frenzy Charges. But the last line, reduce physical damage taken while at maximum endurance charges by 10%, is nuts. And I'm always at max endurance charges, so I'm always getting 10% physical damage reduction. And that's like 2.5 endurance charges, but it's better. I don't have to worry about nullifiers. I don't have to worry about the charges dropping off. I just passively always have 10% physical damage reduction on this build, which is really, really nice. Now, so I'm still wearing garbage rings. I cleared a tier 16 in this gear. I did shorten the length of the boss fight because the boss fight took almost as long as clearing the rest of the map. If you go back and look though, there's 5 portals going to come out. I did not die. I was lucky. It wasn't a bad map. That's the first tier 16 I got, and this character is no way built to run tier 16s. This character is built to clear white and yellow maps with an Alkengo strat and maybe even an Outgo and corrupt strat. You can't do reflect, but you can do everything else, and the goal is to do it quick, right? And so I just wanted to show people you could do it. It was my first one. I wanted my favorite slot, and so hey, I got lucky with a great layout. Port's a great layout for this build. Any kind of long linear map is going to be really, really good. I like alleyways best. Alleyways is about my favorite. City Square is good too, but I like alleyways for the exalted orbs, right? But I've got the rest of Defiance. I didn't have that in the video. I just recently purchased it for 15C, and I've got enough fusings that I was able to 5-link it myself. I'm generating pretty good currency right now. But like I said, nothing here is mandatory. We'll take On's Heritage. I'll take Worm Sign. I'll always have Rampage. I'll always have Onslaught. I'll always have 10% physical damage reduction. I'll always have +2 to max resistances. Veranostris is really nice. I like the mana gain on hit. I think it's quite underrated. I will use that here with it'll allow me to be able to use axe and sword passives, and then this sword passive here is going to be really nice. 8% chance to gain a frenzy charge when you hit a unique enemy. Like a lot of times I don't like to play Flicker Strike. I feel like it's a little bit distracting and it's like almost like nausea inducing. But what I found with this build is actually you can fix that. You can make it feel like buttery smooth. Some of the smoothest gameplay I've ever had playing this game has been playing this build. And the way I do it is I just run white and yellow maps. And if you're doing content that's lower level than where you're at, and if you can get in and flicker into one pack and explode it, you're going to notice that there's very little server lag. The server and my client don't need to communicate much if everything around me is dead, right? So you drop your lag and your latency, the choppiness. It's not as hard on your CPU or GPU if you can blow everything up. And so that's what I do. I don't normally run tier 60s. In order to be able to do that though, in order to be able to blow everything up, flick from pack to pack, just blowing stuff up, you want resolute techniques so that you never miss. Okay, you're gonna get your mana sorted. You don't want to be running out of mana. It's gonna feel choppy, so I'll be taking Verinoceras for the +3 mana, and then I anoint with Spirit Void. That's gonna be 3 verdant oils, and that's gonna give me really good mana regen. Also, like here, I'm taking reduced stun threshold. You don't want to get stunned. That's going to make the gameplay feel choppy. And the other thing, the last thing you need to do is you're going to want to get your bleed chance to 100%. You'll notice if you play it a lot, you'll notice if you ever, like say, change a passive or change some gear and your bleed chance drops below to 100, you literally will feel it in game. You'll notice that those packs aren't exploding. You want to be able to flicker in, apply your bleed, and then blow everything up. Tribal Fury is pretty much mandatory. It's gonna double the amount of enemies you hit, and if you take an attack mastery, if you take strike skills, can hit 30% further away. You'll notice, like I'll notice when I flicker into a pack, it's random what enemy it hits, but if it chooses one of the further away enemies, I've seen it hit all the way out to almost the edge of my screen. And so from there, those enemies that die can blow up, or they can prop my Herald of Ash. So it's really good. That's going to make you feel really smooth though. Never missing, not having mana problems, not getting stunned, always applying a bleed for your gratuitous violence. That's going to make the build feel really, really good. I will do some follow-up videos to like show you how you can take this to the next level. I just want to show you real quick, I'm doing the shrine memes. I'm playing shrines. They're really good. There's not any shrines that are bad for us except for the critical strike. And so if there's only one shrine that we don't benefit from, and then we get a double shrine here when we get this passive, then you're never going to snag a shrine and it be a bad, like not be a damage or defensive boost. So I like that. I hunt Harbingers for the guaranteed currency shards, and also I take Unspeakable Offense, so sometimes those currency shards are actual pieces of currency. Alright, I appreciate you guys tuning in. Thank you for watching my build guide. I hope it was relatively concise. Having a lot of fun playing in trade, and I will be updating you guys in the future with some additional content for taking this build a little bit further. Thank you very much.